Ah, wow. I don't need to wait. I was waiting on my opponent to make the first move, but I might. Okay. So I guess we are getting a Caro. I will keep playing. So what I was saying, I'm just gonna play my main repertoire because yeah, I did a very tough run today, so I'm kinda a little bit tired. So I thought I'm not gonna do something too crazy like in the past when, for sure, when there was a rating imbalance. I liked to do like some fewer openings. So maybe I will do that if I manage to get to fewer rounds. But yeah, you will see that then when the opportunity arises. I could go for this, but then yeah, I want to have my bishop. Like, I want to break down the light squares. Often queen e2, is that here? Yeah, I'm debating where do I want my pieces. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I can start with, no. Let's start with queen e2. I think that's the most flexible. Likely the queen doesn't really belong here. It's like the bishop wants to have free reign on this diagonal. Okay. They take. So now for sure my rook wants to be on d1. Although maybe the other rook actually wanted to be there. I did that too fast. Knight getting to b3 could be a decent square. Also, since I'm then covering the d4 square, which is a little bit like a weak square in my position. Since yeah, I can fight for it with c3, but then d3 becomes weaker. So I'm sharing that I'm streaming. So also, I'm not sure yet what I will do with like, do I upload the whole match on YouTube or do I do them in individual games? So do I on c3 the knight is not doing anything, so I think I want to get it to b3. It could also be blocked out with b6, but then maybe at least my bishop has a little bit more game. Also after b6 maybe I could have some ideas with a4, a5. It could also be an option after bishop b6. Now I think my bishop belongs on e3. That looks like a very nice diagonal. But yeah, now like you could say maybe my other rook belonged here on d1. Rook e8 looks a little bit like, why not put a rook on d8? I guess They were a little bit timid by putting this rook there. So do I want to like weaken this structure? I guess rook e8 already is preemptively a little bit playing against an f4 break. Like in a way, I was thinking rook d2 was a natural doubling move, but maybe I should go d3 actually, since they have a dark square bishop and not large square bishop. It can run into knight c5 sometimes, but for now I have that square covered. Okay, let's try this. I guess they are with the rook going to e8, could be preparing this ring maneuvering, which, yeah, the knight on e6 will be a great square, but I have like a lot of control over the d4 square. Okay, so yeah, I guess I can't take yet. And a4, and I can just block it with a5. Could attack it then again. Just maybe not craziest idea. Since here that's just getting a lot of traits. Move out like knight f8 is for sure still possible. Like after a capture on d3, do I maybe consider taking here? But then, yeah, probably now we can, since yeah, my idea was maybe a d4 then follow up, breaking in the center. I need to be sure that I then can get in the d4 break, since otherwise, okay, so now that. I was now thinking bishop d2. I guess I can play with b6. But yeah, I thought maybe it weakens some squares. And I can remaneuver this bishop to c3, which is maybe even a better diagonal. Although then now I'm no longer fighting for this square. But I have my knight to do that. Yeah, these positions. Like you have the bishop pair, but the bishop pair is not doing... Like this is my extra bishop on g2. It's doing relatively little, and it's not that easy to get it in the game. Like it doesn't really have any targets for the moment. Like the pawns on light squares, it really can't get to. So I still think this looks a natural square. Could go for knight f8 here, which looks a natural move to me, or some trades here. Maybe we trade a lot on the d file, and since, yeah, maybe in the with the major pieces gone, my bishops can start to shine more. Although it's still not clear how this bishop really gonna do a lot. Okay, bishop here, that feels... Yeah, that way they can force off the one of my bishops. It's also like a little bit weakening. Take here. No, I'm not sure. I need to make sure that I don't run into any kind of pins. But I think it's fine. I think I'm gonna capture with a rook. If they don't capture, I think, yeah, maybe I can just say that's a nice pass pawn. I need to, of course, like this is an idea, c5, c4. Yeah, I don't, for now. Maybe in the third game I could go for a different variation in the Caro. Problem is that like I have very limited knowledge in all variations in the Caro. Yes, the I have maybe one option. We'll see. Although this is also a decent learning opportunity for me. Like what if we trade here? So then I get my passed pawn. Actually, maybe it's decently strong. Since here, they would need, they can't do anything in between. Yeah, the queen would get very active, like on c5. It's maybe not really a problem, but I think here. The problem is after this capture, they will get a lot of control over d4. Like, can I just start pushing this pawn, or is it just gonna get weak and captured? Okay, let's see this. I think it's interesting. Could get like over here with my queen. Still not clear what the follow-up is. Yeah. a6, maybe they now just go here. Then they give this file to me. I think I do this. I sort of want my bishop in the game. Oh. So take f4, capture e5. How is that? That knight is going just to very nice square, so probably not it. Yeah, I'm not convinced by my play here. Maybe I can get them overreacting to this passed pawn. They need to like make sure you can't underreact to it either. It's it's a nice passed pawn. And for example, the knight is really not able to participate in stopping it. Maybe yeah, maybe this is a very okay. So they go for attacking it directly, which makes sense, of course. I thought now, with rook no longer here, I can activate my queen to this very nice square. So I assume they will put their queen on one of these. They can also play knight e7. Or queen a7. So my bishop can like defend the pawn, so it's never, it will be very hard to capture it somehow. And maybe at some point I will use the d file. Actually, after a move like queen b6, I already can play rook d1 because they still need to solve their back rank issues. And if they do that, then next time we can play bishop f1. Yeah, interesting. Imbalance with this passed pawn on the 6th rank, which isn't going to promote anytime soon, but it keeps like my opponent needs to keep attention to it. Okay. Oh no. Yeah. Rook d1. Even if they take with the rook, I can take then the rook. So this is also like a little trap. It's like not like it's like a great trap sense, but also it's not just playing for a trick. It's a move I want to play, but probably they anyway want to solve their back rank issue too. So yeah. So, but they go for a light square, which means that maybe at some point my bishop can control that. So in that sense, g6 could make some sense too. So now they are like defending with both these pieces. This passed pawn. And will be, yeah, probably keep the pawn here. Since, like, is there a way where they can try to block it? The knight is, yeah, the knight even has like difficulties. I guess the knight can get to c7, actually. That's, but I can, yeah, I have then rook d7. So that doesn't work. I crashed too. Yeah. It was a logical candidate, but I think it fails tactically. Like, it was something that I was considering what was the candidate moves for my opponent, and then I already saw the refutation, which is a very natural refutation, but I knew there was a chance they would go for this. I think now it's probably just lost. Since, yeah, I can take with the queen. And yeah, okay, let me close Twitch chat again. Yes. Yeah, so I have now a little bit ads running, so then we're sure that not in time phase ads will start running. I think it's better to have it in the opening. Okay, so I have mostly I go for the c5 against the London, but I think I want to try to play for like a King's Indian setup. Oh, they go for e4. Interesting. That's now I maybe like my c5 more. Question is, no, they are not really like threatening e5 or anything. Since now my bishop will get like more scope. Also the knight already, like this capture. So sometimes you want to delay because then the knight gets the c3 square, but that's also no longer the case. Also, like I don't really want the queen trade. Okay. But that's not yet. Though this pawn could be like now a little bit overextended. Do I go for b6, bishop b7? Queen can go to b6. Guess that's a decent move. Let's see how they react. The only thing is, yeah, there could be some stuff with a pin here. Okay. And I need to be a little bit aware of that pin. Queen on c2 looks a nice square. Not sure where this knight belongs. I think the bishop belongs here, although they have knight g5. But maybe I can argue that the knight is there misplaced and I sort of will win a tempo. Since now I maybe could remaneuver the bishop to c6. I have some knight c4 ideas actually, which are a little bit annoying. Since then I need to find a new square for my queen, and there aren't that many great squares, or I need to give up my bishop, which I'm not like really happy about. Okay, so that's my next move here. Knight e7 could run into knight g5, knight c6. The knight is really not doing anything there. Do I use a tempo here on h6? Or knight h5? At least giving the queen the c7 square. Think I do h6. There's at least some purposes in this position. Like I have a square for my king. Sometimes I want to play g5. And what was the other? I stopped knight g5. Okay, rook e1. It's like a little bit similar like in the last game, where they don't score directly for the open file, but instead put their rook behind the pawn. Here it makes for sure some sense, but it's a funny similarity. So okay, they go similarly for h3. Like so now my knight h5 never runs. The bishop can go here, but I was more afraid of the bishop going to e3 actually, so I feel like my h6 did maybe a little bit more, although it's very minimal. I guess rook d8 at some point I want to play. I don't think there's like a magic way how bishop c7 is gonna work. So like I need to be like a little bit tactically aware about these two pieces being on the same diagonal, and a bishop looking at the square, like connecting that on the diagonal. But yeah, I guess the only way how it's if somehow a knight gets to d5, but then probably I anyway want to snap that off, so I think it's highly unlikely it will be a thing. Still very unsure about like how I proceed with my position, but I guess yeah, they finally go for this. Is this like an improved moment? Maybe I now decide to keep that my bishop, like queen e4 is also threatening this pawn. Yeah, I think I go for this. Queen c6. I always like whenever needed, I still have the c8 square, so it's not that I'm completely running out of squares. So e5 here for sure, candidate. And then do I go forward with my knight? I think. Yeah, e5 looks also, it allows bishop. Okay. Opening up, defending. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. So b5, likely the knight goes to a5. Or the knight can also go to e5. Can also play b6. That's a little bit more solid move. Also, I guess we need to, but I don't want to give my bishop that easy. b5, maybe also in some moments prepares b4, since I want to break this, like, for this blockade of my bishop. So I guess the one thing is like knight a5, or here, where do I put my queen? I was thinking b6, there's this bishop b6, putting a pin, maybe sometimes suggesting. But yeah, it would be better tempo on the knight, right? So the knight needs to go back. Okay, I think I do this. I for now don't see like the refutation of it. Guess knight a3 would be with tempo, but in that case I very happily play a6. The knight will be misplaced. For now, yeah, I guess it all depends now to where the knight goes. I think against knight e3 I can take here. I will need to double check that. There are no, yeah, there for any discoveries to be a thing, you would need to trade and then do a discovery. I guess no. Like any discovery, at least I can. Although in that case, in the end, b5 will hang. So maybe it's not. Knight e3 is an option here. But I guess it's also not that scary right now, since I have good control over d5. But maybe after knight e3 I play a6 to then start to threaten to take on e4. And the knight can't jump forward yet, since both g4 and d5 I'm overprotecting for the moment. Although, yeah, probably not. Since they could take here, but like I will have a battery on the knight on f3. And even if that doesn't win me a pawn, like that damaging their pawn structure should be favorable. Although there is still here this bishop defending there, so it's not the end of the world, but I assume they will not even consider allowing that. I think that's a thing that until a certain level you don't care, then you start to you realize that weakening your king's position is bad, and then you start to overreact, and then at some point you start to understand again it's more nuanced. I think it's likely they are still in the stage where they would overreact to that. I think that's okay. Right here. Active move, very logical. Do I trade myself or just move the queen out of the way? Feel I maybe want to just move the queen out of the way. Since I'm not unhappy with like a trade allowing here, it sort of frees my pieces. My bishop is now uncovered. I also could decide to double, but then the second knight comes. So the b7 sort of feels the most natural square. I could also consider b6, keep defending this pawn. But yeah, this way I keep some pressure on the e4 pawn. I guess, but yeah, if like they could try to get this bishop to this long diagonal, which, but yeah, I think I go for this right now. Also, in some cases, I'm defending like the 7th. I think it's not impossible that that's relevant. And also, I'm not vulnerable to like any pins on this diagonal possibly. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Both were variable candidates. There is like some far-fetched like ideas to sacrifice and then like e5. It's not, but yeah, I at least have like, for example, already the bishop f5. So I don't really believe in this. Anyway, even if they, for example, could take here, and then in this position just could take on g6, probably it's not good enough, since like the thing is, like you need to have 2 pawns and a check, is like the saying. And in this case it will be not with a check. Of course it will be with a threat here, so I guess maybe that position is quite threatening, actually. Although, now, for example, yeah, the check thing is important, right? Since I have at least done bishop f7, kicking the queen back. Queen has difficulty to staying on the g-file, since on g3 it runs into knight g4, where I can remove this important bishop. Of course, I'm now talking in lines which are not allowed in the chess rule, but they could try to go for the same ideas by pushing e5 with tempo, so it's not irrelevant, the ideas. I think there was a real chance that they were considering something like that. So right here, the question, do I capture with a knight, open up my bishop, which looks quite tempting. Like now, then all my pieces are unobstructed. It of course then obstructs my rook, but it also stops any knight e5 ideas. It mainly, they have almost no like activity in it now. Now I could be going for ideas with b4, maybe first preparing it with a5. c4 and getting the knight in here is also a very viable option, but that blocks this bishop. Maybe I do a5, then in some cases I will be threatening to take this pawn. Not directly, but I guess I would also need to play a4 first. But yeah, then it will be very unpleasant to react to that. Let's say I have now a5, a4 in one move. Since they can't, like the natural way to stop is a3, but that now runs into bishop b3. So, and yeah, the other ways are not like really desirable. So I think I like a5. Also, they don't have any active moves in the position yet, I think. They could, like, okay, they directly go for a3, but do I now play a4 or b4 is also still an option. But yeah, I think it's quite nice to like give my bishop that square, and it's not that b4 is gone anyway. I still can play with b4. Maybe in some cases I can get, again, like in the last game, the outside passer. I guess they could be attacking this pawn now, but maybe, probably then I play b4. So bishop b3 would force the rook up. Can I use that in some tactical way? I'm not seeing it yet. And they, of course, are attacking here. I think I will start with just stopping that and then re-evaluate. Like, there are options. I had options to like do an in-between move first, but I think, yeah, this is just a practical. Like, it's often a move I anyway want to play. Okay, the bishop comes out, defending here. So after bishop, do they want to block here? I have c4, but that sort of like kills my play here. So I'm not that much of a fan of that. Think I now go for b4. Like, both my bishops are staring in this direction. I think it makes sense to create tension here. I'm not sure, like, I could move my rooks, but I'm not sure on which square it would be better. I need to be, like, this is an idea, I need to make sure I don't blunder. So it could be that I are eyeing that. But for after e5, I feel I would have good candidates. Maybe bishop d5 actually would be quite unpleasant for them. Yeah, I think it likely would be. They could like trade and play bishop c4. But that would be tactically risky because of rook c8. Maybe they can get away with it, but it's for sure tactically risky. So that's also an extra advantage of my b4 move. Sometimes I will have rook c8 with tempo. Or just, yeah, sometimes more than tempo, but at least with tempo. Yeah, I feel this pawn on the queen side made a lot of sense. All my pieces are like or in that direction or in this part of the board, while they have a knight which is not participating on the queen side, a rook that is not on the queen side. This bishop is not participating on the queen side. Yeah, the bishop is a bit, since it controls some square, so the bishop is doing some stuff on the queen side. I think I go directly for just recapturing. Is there? Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't do that. like after the capture here, do I just capture back, attack b2? Okay. Logical move. But it could be tactically flawed. I see opportunity with bishop b3. It's maybe I think I still want to include this capture first. Now the only problem is that then they maybe could pin me back when I do that, but I don't like bishop b3 taking here. I guess maybe that's still best. That's since if I capture here, they can like pin me on the b file. So I think I need to go for this first. Actually, it's even more concrete than that. Capture here. They could capture here, but I can. It's important that I can take the knight, and then here. How is that? Or I have maybe hooks. No. Maybe there is a chance that this is not working for me. That I just can take in a good way on b4. That it's not even, that I don't even get the exchange. Yeah, we will see. I think I don't can't back. I can. Okay, they don't include this capture, so now it's for sure good for me. The question is, how good is it? I think I want to not allow this capture. There are for sure some, like the bishops have a real compensation here. This bishop. And you can now also think about some e5, going for this, but then my knight has the very nice d5 square. And also they still are in the spin, so it's not really working. I'm like maybe threatening to take on b2. Not sure if, okay, but that's just a full rook for me. And I close Twitch again. So I guess we are 2-0. Okay, they decide to deviate. I would have deviated myself, but I guess I think I'm gonna keep that a secret for now, how I would have deviated. No, I need to make sure that I do the right move order. I think it's starting with knight f3. So now, in this case, it wouldn't have mattered, but do I just play bishop d3? Since c4 runs into some knight d4 stuff, it's just annoying. Can also play a3. It's like a little bit a meh move. Yeah, I never can remember how I should like and can switch move around I should do what. Then bishop b3 take thing. Although I guess this makes some sense. I think I'm just gonna do that. Could say I have a spades advantage, so I shouldn't trade. But I gain some development with it. Are we going to go? I think we castle short now, right? Queen b3. Oh, queen b5 already works. I guess it still works. Oh no, they have 97 take. Do I take that pawn? It's a little bit greedy, but why not? Or do they have c6? No, I don't know. I think I take it. Let's be greedy. I think I can get away with it here. Like it's not that I'm even really. I will not be even that much behind in development. I gained earlier some development, right? So since I already have castling, so I have at this moment 3 developing moves in. They have only 2. They will get a second one. And yeah, possibly a third one. So they will then be one move ahead. I guess this is an option, but I also gain a tempo against that knight. Don't think there is any. Yeah, I still think I take this. Maybe this is a blunder actually. No. Knight b4 here. Oh wow. Could this be a trick? Yeah, this could be a trick actually. Nah, I should have taken a little bit more time here. That was silly of me. At least they are not blitzing their move out. Yeah, I totally missed this, but I have queen b5. And I think I'm fine. Okay, this. So now I think I need to play still queen b5. Since if I attack here, they can, and my queen is trapped. So yeah, this was potentially all a little bit dubious of me. At least, yeah, I should have calculated it more correctly before going. I went too much with this on instinct. Like, that is not a pawn you can just, like, just on feeling take. Like, B pawns are always very, they are quite often dubious to take. Okay. So now my plan was, yeah, I guess I have 2 options here, c4 and a4. a4 keeps the pin, which is actually quite nice. I don't see a piece that I can attack. That's so I guess they will play queen d7. Yeah, let's do this. The advantage of c4 was that I'm closer to the center. They now clearly gained a lot of time with this. But so since I now made a lot of queen moves in a row. I guess this, but this capture, but it's, yeah, not sure if I need to count that. And it still wasn't in a row, but that doesn't really matter. So 2, 3, 4. So yeah, if I had like seen until here, I probably, yeah, if I had just seen a 96, I probably already wouldn't have gone for it. So I think they don't have a much. They have sort of the option of the queen d6, but I have the feeling that I have them some tactics with bishop. Yeah, maybe it doesn't work. No, but I have tactics then with 95. The advantage of queen d7 is 95 never works. So I think queen d7 is the only move here. Otherwise, I'm gonna play a3 or c3. And win a piece. So yeah. And after queen d7, I'm still playing probably a3 or c3, but I'm not sure yet which of the two. Maybe a3, knight d5, c4, knight b6, and then you get the queen back. And again, like, are not developing, but maybe then next I can start developing. Although then, yeah, this pawn could be hanging. Although that's usually not. Yeah, okay. But maybe I don't need to rush with c4. But what do I do then if I don't do c4? Rook b6. I guess that's also a way to how to defend. And in some lines maybe doing this. But is there some like a3, c4, c5 stuff? I think it is there. Except if they go knight e6, but that, yeah, I would be very happy to see knight e6 here. In that case, I'm for sure playing a3. Rook a6. I don't think. Yeah, it could work, but it feels, yeah, it maybe doesn't lose material, but it feels wrong. Okay, they go for that. I guess I'm now not threatening to take this knight. For now. Here. I know that, I guess on d7 I am still threatening to take the knight. Though they have no, oh no, I have here. No, that doesn't work yet. So I think now I'm expecting rook b6 here. At least this got a very like interesting position. So yeah, I only need a draw to clinch match victory, but yeah, it would be nice to start with a 3-0 victory. In some cases, I will like take the draw, but not it needs to be like a very specific case. For example, I now could take the draw, but I think we gonna keep playing a bit. The queen is now sort of a little bit misplaced here, maybe, since I am blocking the c4 IDs. Daar, kom. We are not just gonna take the house here. It would be epic if I now from here lose the match, but it would be like it was already. I was of course already an extreme high favorite before the match, and now with 2-0 advantage, I assume, and yeah, well, this a good position, I think. I assume it's in the high 90s anyway. Even I'll keep playing on. And probably the very high 90s. But it's always possible. So so how I think 95, although they already made here multiple moves that surprised me, but still sort of expect 95. And I was thinking maybe to follow it up with b4. Maybe I can just play knight c3. Actually, that doesn't look that bad. Now, looking at the position, maybe, but I didn't think it works. But they could go for another in-between move if they want with knight a5, but I feel like I guess after queen c2 too much stuff is happening, since the knight is hanging and it's went to the other knight. So I think that loses on the spot. Okay. So maybe knight c3. Although then knight a5, does that change something? It for sure changes something, but is it? I guess I have just queen a4, so that's not at all scary, I think, here. Since also after the trade, and my queen comes on c3, now my bishop no longer needs to keep defending the b-pawn. That was the reason I wanted to play b4, but I feel it makes focus a bit on development makes more sense. No, my queen is for now. I guess this is the only tempo move on my queen, and that's not at all scary because of queen a4. So yeah, and for they have like no real active moves. I guess bishop f6. But probably I just take. And if they take with a pawn now, I even have queen e2 a check. And yeah, maybe I then yeah, I have multiple options. Okay, they go for this. I think I keep the structure intact. I see maybe now bishop f6 is a little bit more something. But I think I have at least knight e5. Yeah. Just probably a good move. Like bishop e3 or rook d1 feels a little bit passive. Probably not bad moves. I'm in the end a pawn up, but I guess knight e5 they could take here actually. With what? So knight e5 probably doesn't work. Maybe bishop e3 now. It's not that passive in some cases. I'm threatening d5. Of course, my queen first needs to move. And I guess, yeah, the question is, can they get this maneuvering in? Yeah, let's make keep it a bit solid for now. Okay, take castle. Maybe I should step out of this pin or get a rook to the center. Have now knight e5. Okay, that looks quite nice. They can't capture with a knight. Can capture with a bishop. Yeah, okay, 95 looks. I assume, yeah, I think it works now. Still, like, no tempo moves from them. I guess knight e7 is a move here. Okay, yeah, knight e7 maybe is a decent move. Then I could have knight c4. Okay, yeah, go for that. Since the end, this 95 is a bit annoying actually. I saw that a little bit too late. Knight c4, 95. You can still do that. No. b4. Yeah, shouldn't have allowed this. Maybe it was not really good way to avoid it, but okay, maybe now it's time to go for b4. Okay. I guess I want to keep defending that bishop. d3. Yeah, maybe d3 is, since it sort of steps into in the knight distance, maybe queen d2 was more sensible. I'm still, of course, I'm still a pawn up, so don't think my position is any big danger, but maybe I could have had better. C45 is a possible idea here. Okay. They try to do some pin stuff. Knight here. Rook calls back. And I play c3. And I could have e5 breaks. Knight f3. Still e5. Or do I just step out? But no, then for queen, no, knight here. Since I think this and this is a threat. But if I play knight c4, yeah, let's start with knight c4. I think that's a safe move to start. Maybe after that I just move my bishop. Although then e5 ideas. Or I guess rook d1. So now after e5 I can just capture, and in case of a discovery, this discovery I probably just take. With other discoveries I can take the rook on d7. We are getting low on time, but yeah, there the previous games have been very good against me going. I have a lot of experience. I have not experience, but written maybe of the last playing everyday Blitz on stream. Every day at the same hour as today, so that helps quite a lot. Okay, so guess do we know a couple options here? Guess maybe now I want to keep this bishop. It's not like clear which good squares there are, since this is one of the better ones. Yeah, I'm not sure that was best. Okay, do they have an in-between move here? Guess they have, but can defend here with c3. And after e5 now I probably can take. Okay, think I want to trade off that and probably step out of any pins. They could put pressure on this pawn. Or, yeah, I need to make also sure that I don't blunder a skewer on that diagonal. Bishop b2 looks very passive, but feel, I don't know, maybe need to make a passive move. Okay, that was nice. I was at some point planning to play c4. Guess I want a flight square, probably a light square. That's nice. Guess queen here. So maybe some a4. Do I now play a4? Okay. They could have like, okay. Think we trade. And I think we are a better position to fight for the a file, since my rooks are connected. This bishop is at this moment a big pawn, but I guess their bishop is not doing that much more. It's also just starring at a wall. Okay, they are preemptively already defending there. But I think I have more ideas than on. This is one of the ideas, of course, attacking this pawn. But I also can like sometimes rook e6, maybe rook e8. Okay. Yeah. So maybe next rook a7. Ooh. Somehow feels a little bit risky. I could have ideas to getting here in here. But maybe we start with this. See where the queen is going. Let's go back to the back rank. No. They want to stay active, but then I will put up the pressure. In this case, are they trying to go for this? Not, I guess. Yeah, I was not sure which rook. I wanted to run off the rooks to the b file, but wasn't sure which one was best. And I thought the reason I decided to go for this one is that I don't put any on the dark squares. Okay. Could go here. Yeah, it's still not like super easy. Maybe they could now go. No, they need to keep defending here. So not that easy for them to go active. Maybe in some cases, okay, bishop there, trying to some active play. I'm gonna kick that bishop away. Now, how do I get my queen in? I feel like maybe well, the bishop can kick it there. Okay. Trade. Maybe I should have gone actually now here, now that I had the chance. Here. So I guess here, and then my queen can activate. Oh no, they can also do that. Ah, that was, of course I couldn't like do that yet. This. In some cases here could be actually very annoying. Some cases I also maybe want to get in here. Don't think there is like any. And maybe at some point I could go for an e5 break. It's actually a very decent idea. But yeah, not in this exact position, of course. I'm actually threatening checkmate. Do I trade queens? No, it's not just a queen trade, it's winning a queen. I guess they have bishop there. So it's not winning a queen. So then I probably take this pawn. Yes. Let's go back here. So it's thinking like here. Oh no. No, e5. Oof. Then I think e5 was maybe a good move there for a moment. The queen can get active, but I don't think the queen is really going to achieve that much. Don't think there's like any direct perpetuals or something. And my queen will get achieve a lot. Of course, mass trades are very good for me here. They have a check here, but I will have a checkmate, so I think I can do this. They have bishop here. Yeah. Yeah, you are not winning. You can't take that bishop. I have a checkmate threat. So I think you need to go back. Now I have this check, which is, I think, GG.